All right, guys, we're gonna do a quick blind, and you had mentioned that you could tell us the difference between a whiskey and possibly a whiskey-aged tequila. So,
Yep.
so
This
that's
is
what
one
we're
of my
doing.
projects that I took a bourbon soaked. So I took a American oak stave that I had put in to a cheap bottle of bourbon. This was my very first project ever. Cheap bottle of bourbon, let it soak in there for months. I mean, this thing was like 5 or 7 months. I mean, it was a long time. And then after it dried out, I put it in this Teremanha Blanco, which I couldn't stand Teremanha, but I think it has the definite whiskey bourbon flair to it. So that's why he's like, well, I could pick out the bourbon and all that. So
What we did is we poured them into colored cups. The colored cups have a key to them, and so
we don't know which.
Here
one.
is number one.
Yeah, we do not know which one is which.
Here is number one.
Oh, I think I know what this is. Oh, it smells so good. I'll be kicking myself in the butt if this isn't what I think it is.
What do you think? Can you tell by smell?
Is it a whiskey bourbon or is it a...
Leaning more on the bourbon.
Wow, that is a different flavor from what we've just got done tasting. I still get those barrel notes. Beautiful American oak, so I'm getting a lot of vanilla. I'm gonna go with, this is only my guess. So far, my guess is number one. I'm gonna say this is the contradiction. I'm gonna say contradiction. Oh, I love that stuff.
Leaning on the contradiction. Okay.
It's one of my favorite bourbons right now, is that contradiction. I cannot lie. Boy, it's just hanging in the mouth right there. That flavor is just sticking there.
But whatever it is, very good flavor.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
And please, if you haven't already liked, subscribed, please do. Please also go back and check out our other content because it is awesome. We have done reviews for all of these, actually. All right, number two, guys.
It smells actually good, but I know what it is.
I think it's tequila.
I believe this is the Teremanha.
That is a hugely different nose.
Right? That's why I said I think it's Teremanha. But you know what? It's not bad. It's holding its own.
Oh, I don't disagree.
It's holding... Nobody did that. But it's holding its own.
It's raining bourbon again. Raining tequila.
It's raining tequila. What the heck?
Leaning on the Teremanha.
But just after the bourbon I just had, I'm not mad at it. I'm being honest.
Ooh, excuse me, whatever it may be, yeah. And guys, just so you're aware, these are some heavy-hitting bourbons out there. The TX, absolutely amazing. The contradiction, super smooth, lots of body, lots of flavor. It is a, well-rounded.
What a time to get hiccups.
I know. Well-rounded bottle. fantastic. And the Teremanha, you won't find one like this because it's actually been aged and
it's
perfected.
Yeah, it's a bourbon soaked American oak stave that's been soaked in there. So like so that when we go to Mexico, you got to remind me, when we go to Mexico, we have to get the Two Souls by Bachman. So Bachman is a whiskey that has been aged in a tequila barrel. Normally it's the other way around. Most tequilas, when you go to aged expressions, have been aged in used whiskey barrels.
All right, and the final one. I didn't even pour it.
Oh, God, that's so good too. All three of them were good.
I know. That's why I chose them.
These all three complement each other.
I know.
Which is weird because I hate Teremanha. But I'm not mad at the way that...
There's a reason why.
Woo, okay. You know, being on the water, you get a lot of party people. I'm just saying.
Those two are crazy close.
They're singing Queen on the pontoon just going by, and it's hilarious. But we can hear them clear as day. That's fun.
Those two are so close.
Flavor. Ooh. Flavor is close, but I'm going to say this is TX because there is one element of like super smooth. Like it coats the palate a little bit better. And this is just my guess. I think number 1 was the Contradiction. Number 2, Teremanha. Number 3, I'm going to say is TX. But again, like I've been saying this whole time, they all complement each other.
I know this is a tricky one, but they are all delicious in their own way.
I'm gonna have to go with the TX on this one.
Now watch the TX and the Contradiction have been switched.
No, actually, that is exactly what they are. Is that so? Yellow was Teremanha, the red was the Contradiction, and the green was the TX.
I'm not mad at any of these.
But like I said, like trying those two side by side, I'm like, hold up, what's going on here?
They taste really wonderful. All of them are good. I just love this. I love this Contradiction right now. When it comes to bourbons, and I'm a tequila guy 100% right now. Right now, I might need something different a couple miles down the road. But right now, that bourbon
Hopefully
is...
not, because you got so much invested. I think
I've got a lot.
I think your governmental principles might shoot you if you try to go to something else.
Hi.
Anywho, guys, so this was a blind. You were able to identify all three of them,
Yes.
but this wasn't an easy fate because each one played off the previous one just slightly, and they were all super smooth and palatable.
The compliment really does have to go to this aging project. It
Correct.
really has to, because I'm telling you what, that Teremanha as a Blanco was actually unpalatable. I wouldn't even put that in a mixed drink.
Correct.
It was that bad. But after putting it through the Brita filter 5 times, and then after putting it through the 5 times, I took that bourbon-soaked stave, put it in there, and it really holds it. I think it holds its own weight when it comes to these 3.
Correct.
Total. I'm happy we did it. I'm glad we actually did it because it was kind of like a thing of mine. I'm like, man, this tastes like a whiskey. But at the end of the day, I can smell the tequila portion of it.
Correct.
Because I'll put it this way. So the tequila from Teremanha is properly made.
Correct.
But the problem with Teremanha, and the same thing goes for Patron and 1800, is there's additives, but they're using young, unripe agave.
Correct.
So I wanted to slow that down so we can actually tell the difference. The reason why is because they're pushing out so much product.
Yeah, they're using
They need to get out so much. They're using 3 to 5 years, and for an agave to be ripe enough to be able to use for tequila, it should be 6 to literally 20 years.
Right.
Ultimately, I'm glad we did this. It was a lot of fun.
It was.
Did you have fun?
Yeah.
All right. What about
Awesome.
you? Could you?
Oh yeah, I absolutely could. Like I said,
I mean, you knew the answer right up, but
I was surprised though at that Teremanha and that TX being right there. Like that was the one that I'm like, even knowing the answer, I'm like, really?
could you substitute that for a
Absolutely.
for a whiskey drink?
Absolutely.
Okay.
The only difference is the nose, and if it's someone that isn't
As much as we drink.
Yeah, as
We do a lot of
super
tequila.
experienced in bourbon or tequila, I bet you could pass it through.
Yeah, I agree.
But guys, we appreciate you for tuning in on this really quick
That was fun.
blind
I'm glad we
of
did it.
our whiskeys versus our tequila. Stay tuned because we have a whole lot more content coming.
Tomorrow
we've
we're
got
going to do
some great
part
new
2.
guests as well coming on.
Oh yeah,
So
tomorrow.
stay tuned, and we will see you on the flip side. But remember to always sip, savor, and celebrate. Cheers.